The Congress's chief campaigner in Madhya Pradesh, Jyotiraditya Scindia, is joining us on this broadcast now. Before I go across to him, let me get you the final figures from Madhya Pradesh as they stand at the end of this day. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, despite a three-term incumbency operating against the BJP, has been able to increase the BJP's tally by 19%. Jyotiraditya Scindia, leading the Congress's charge, has actually seen the Congress's tally come down from 71 to 60. Others have 8 seats. Jyotir, welcome to Headlines today. We travelled with you across Madhya Pradesh. Your rallies got a good response. You spoke really well. You connected well with audiences who came out to hear you. Despite that, you haven't been able to achieve what Vasundhara Raje managed to achieve against Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan. Despite the anti-incumbency, why could you turn this into votes and seats for your party? What's your own assessment, Jyotir?
Well, first of all, Rahul, I think the important thing to start with is to congratulate Shivraj Singh Chauhan and his team in Madhya Pradesh. I think exultation in victory and grace in defeat is extremely important. And so I'd like to take this opportunity through you to congratulate him and his team in Madhya Pradesh. Having said that, I think it's very clear that we have failed in Madhya Pradesh. And in terms of taking blame for that, I think I need to stick my neck out first, because as the campaign committee chief, some part of it, if not all of that responsibility, rests on my shoulders. So I guess whatever we did as a party and as I as an individual wasn't good enough. Now, if you want to go into the symptoms of the reason for our dismal performance, I don't think I can do that with you over 8 hours of the results coming out. I think there are many reasons for it, and I think we'll need to get into it and do a full restructuring bottom up in terms of what went wrong. But one thing that did not go wrong was the enthusiasm of our workers, and I must thank them also through you for putting up a great effort in Madhya Pradesh and standing by our candidates and doing a great job.
Leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mr. Arun Jaitley, is also joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Jaitley, welcome to Headlines today. In this part of our program, we're discussing the BJP's big victories in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and also coming back to power in Chhattisgarh. Would you take this to believe that there is now a national anti-Congress mood that's built up, that's manifested in these results? And do you believe that this is also reflective of the pro-Modi factor that you've been talking about for several months now, Mr. Jaitley?
Well, certainly there is a mood in this country against the Congress today. Now, in states where the BJP has been in power, there has been no anti-incumbency visible in those states. The results themselves illustrate that. On the contrary, in places like Delhi and Rajasthan, a huge element of anti-incumbency was available. And this was visible. The results itself demonstrate that. Now, coupled with the performance of the central government and a general disillusionment with the central government, Rajasthan and Delhi saw a double anti-incumbency. And therefore, there being a clear mandate against the Congress in these elections is one big picture which clearly emerges out of this election result.
Jyotiraditya Scindia, do you think Rahul Gandhi takes a large part of the blame? He's being pilloried on social media and elsewhere. He picked the candidates, he led the team, his team formulated the strategy. The Congress has ended up with disastrous results. Questions will be asked, and Mr. Jaitley in fact put out a blog post where he took a pot shot and said people will now ask why Priyanka Gandhi is not being brought in, and Rahul Gandhi as an electoral trump card for the Congress really seems to be turning out to be a bit of a joker in the pack, not delivering the eels you would like your lead mascot to do.
Rahul, you and I have spoken many times on this issue. I do not think the results of a state election are manifest of what happens on the national landscape. And as an example of that, in 2008 itself, we lost a number of these states, but in the Lok Sabha election, we came back with 206 seats. Point number one. Point number two, I think very much the responsibility of the results of these states certainly lies on the state and local leadership, just as it lay with the state and local leadership when we won Karnataka, Himachal and Uttarakhand. I didn't necessarily see Mr. Rahul Gandhi take all the credit for that either. He has come forward along with the President of the Congress Party and addressed all of you today in a press conference very clearly enunciating the disappointment with the results, and also saying that yes, we need to do a lot of introspection and restructuring, and offered to do that himself. And I think that itself is a very, very brave step.
Mr. Jaitley, you particularly have been saying that Rahul Gandhi cannot be insulated from the blame. He has to, as the man who led the campaign, take a large part of the blame. But Jyotiraditya Scindia argues that you can't blame Rahul Gandhi because the election was not fought in his name. He says if someone is to blame, I, as the chief campaigner for the Congress in Madhya Pradesh, must take the blame and not Rahul Gandhi. Mr. Jaitley.
Well, I am not interested in laying the blame on any particular person within the Congress party itself. My own analysis has been that it is the performance of the government which has disillusioned the rank and file of the Congress party, and therefore that level of enthusiasm both amongst the voters and their own cadres is missing. Now, this could be a fair media analysis as to who gets the credit and who gets the blame. Within political parties, we don't do that. Parties collectively win and lose elections, so the parties collectively take the credit and take the blame for it. There is no apportionment system within a party. The central leadership is responsible for a victory, the state leadership is responsible, the party cadres are responsible, similarly they are responsible for defeats, and therefore this kind of a chemicalized or an arithmetical apportionment of the blames takes place in the media. It doesn't take place within the parties itself.